Hello, I'm Dr. Amelia Hayes, and I'm a urologist, which means I spend my life focused on the plumbing and vitality that keeps you feeling like you. Gentlemen, if you wake up in the morning and your legs feel heavy, like a pair of old cinder blocks, if your feet are freezing cold at night, even under the covers, if your heart hammers just from walking up a single flight of stairs, or if you've noticed that your erections, the ones that used to arrive instantly and powerfully, now fade, weaken, or simply don't show up at all, then I need you to listen closely. These are not just random, annoying signs of getting older. They are alarms. They are silent warnings that your arteries are closing up, your blood flow is slowing to a crawl, and your body is essentially running on borrowed time. And for many men, the very first place that circulation collapses is not your heart and not your brain, it's the penis. That is the absolute cruel truth. The small, delicate vessels in your bedroom are the canary in the coal mine for your entire cardiovascular system. That's why the strength in your intimacy can fade years, sometimes a decade, before a major heart attack ever strikes. Most men are told there's nothing they can do, except take a pill, or just accept the slow, frustrating decline. But I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. What if the answer to restoring your circulation isn't a complex prescription, or an uncomfortable injection, or even surgery? What if it was something genuinely simple? What if just 2 drops of the right natural oil, every day, could begin the process of clearing hardened arteries, thinning sticky blood, dissolving microclots, and restoring powerful, youthful blood flow to men even in their 70s and 80s? What if you could start seeing results, feeling the difference, in as little as 24 hours? Today, I'm going to reveal the 8 most powerful natural oils that can transform your circulation, your vitality, and your life. Before we get into the science, if you believe every man deserves real answers and simple, natural solutions, please take 1 second to subscribe and turn on notifications. I create these videos for men who refuse to give up, and tell me in the comments if you're ready to take back your strength. Now let's start with the first oil on our list, number 8. It's an oil that can begin to open your arteries and restore blood flow faster than you might think.
Number 8. Extra virgin olive oil. Just picture this scenario for a moment. A man in his 70s sits alone on the edge of his bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's rubbing his calves because they feel like they're filled with wet, heavy cement when he tries to stand. His feet feel numb and cold, like they're completely disconnected from him. And maybe, just maybe, he hesitates before getting back into bed, because he knows exactly what will happen next. He'll lie there next to the woman he loves, wanting to feel like himself again, wanting to reach for her. But nothing happens. There's no response, no strength, just silence. It's not because he doesn't want to, and it's not because he doesn't care. It's because the blood that once surged through his body like fire has slowed to a tired, painful trickle. And the moment he truly realizes that his erections, the simple symbol of his vitality and confidence, are simply gone, is a moment no one ever prepares you for. It feels like the end of something sacred. Most men tragically blame themselves. They think they failed. They think they are broken or weak. But the truth from a medical standpoint is brutally simple. The problem is not desire. It's not a lack of masculinity, and often, it's not even hormones. The problem is simple circulation. When your arteries get stiff, clogged, and inflamed, when plaque builds up like rust inside an old, narrow pipe, the most delicate parts of your body, like the penis, simply don't get enough blood to function. Erections are not primarily about age. They are about blood flow. When that blood flow disappears, life, intimacy, and confidence all lose their color. This is where extra virgin olive oil becomes a true lifeline. It's not just a pantry staple. It is a powerful, natural tool that has helped transform the lives of countless men. EVOO is rich in powerful antioxidants and heart-healing monounsaturated fats. It works like a gentle cleanser, quietly scraping the sticky buildup from the inside of your arteries, smoothing those inner walls so blood can move freely again. It helps protect you against dangerous clotting, and most importantly, it supports nitric oxide, allowing your arteries to relax and widen. It helps blood reach your heart, your legs, and yes, it helps blood reach the penis. Many men who consistently take just 1 tablespoon every day describe a quiet transformation they absolutely never expected. Feet that stop feeling frozen, legs that don't ache after a simple walk, energy returning after meals instead of that immediate crash, and yes, morning erections returning like an old, powerful friend. It's the kind of change that doesn't announce itself loudly, but simply whispers, "You are not done yet," because when circulation returns, hope returns. It's not magic. It's biology. It's nature supporting the body the way it was always designed to work. All it takes is consistency, 1 spoon, every day, a small, Simple act of self-respect. And if that's what that 8th oil can do, wait until you hear about the next 2. These oils have the power not only to calm the silent fire of inflammation inside your arteries, but to restart blood flow that's being choked by high pressure. Number 7. Avocado oil. There's a moment that I see many men go through, a moment they rarely talk about, and it hits them like a punch to the chest. It happens in my office, or maybe their family doctor's office when the blood test results arrive. The doctor sits down, looks over their glasses, pauses, and quietly says, "Your numbers don't look good. Your cholesterol is up. Your triglycerides are rising. Your arteries are getting harder." He doesn't say it directly, but the patient hears what he's really saying: "You are running out of time." In that split second, all the moments you once took for granted come rushing back. Running around with your kids, holding your wife's hand on a quiet walk, feeling your heartbeat strong inside your chest, waking up with a morning strength that made you feel powerful and unshakable. Suddenly, you're just sitting there, nodding politely, while inside, you are absolutely terrified. Terrified of losing control, terrified of becoming fragile, terrified of watching the life you built shrink around you, piece by piece. What most men fear is not death itself. What they truly fear is losing the ability to live while they are still alive, losing their independence, losing intimacy, losing their dignity, because when blood flow slows down, everything slows down. Your thinking, your energy, your physical strength, and your confidence. You feel it in your legs first, then maybe a tightness in your chest, and finally, devastatingly, in your manhood. And yet, nobody ever tells men that inflammation is often the true killer. It's not just age, and it's certainly not fate. It's a silent, constant fire burning inside your arteries, making your blood thicker, your vessels tighter, and your heart work far too hard just to keep up. This is where avocado oil becomes more than just a food oil. It can truly become a quiet miracle. For your cardiovascular system, it is packed with calming monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants like vitamin E. It acts like a soothing hand inside those arteries, gently reducing inflammation, easing the tension in the inner walls, and giving your blood the space and the freedom to move easily again. It is fantastic at raising your HDL, the good cholesterol that acts like a protective sweeper, while simultaneously lowering the dangerous LDL and triglycerides that clog and stiffen your blood vessels. It also makes your platelets less sticky, meaning they're less likely to clump together to form dangerous clots that can steal your breath, steal your movement, and tragically, steal your erections. Men who start using avocado oil often say things they haven't said in years. They talk about feeling lighter after meals instead of feeling that bloated exhaustion. They talk about walking farther without having to stop and catch their breath. They talk about the warmth returning to their legs and feet, and sometimes, when they are brave enough to say it out loud, they talk about strength returning in the bedroom, not because they became younger overnight, but simply because circulation returned, because life returned. There is nothing more powerful than the moment a man realizes he is not finished, that his story is not over, that he still has control. Just 1 or 2 tablespoons a day, used for simple cooking, roasting vegetables, or drizzled over a healthy meal, can become the exact turning point, the moment the tide begins to shift. Number 6. Pumpkin seed oil. There's a sound that every man dreads, even if he never admits it. It is a sound of his own heartbeat, pounding too hard inside his chest late at night. He's lying in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling each thump like a warning bell, wondering if this is a night that something finally breaks. He places his hand over his heart, trying to steady the rhythm, trying to breathe slowly, trying desperately to convince himself everything is fine, but he knows something is wrong. His blood pressure is creeping higher. His chest feels tight after climbing stairs, his legs swell by evening and ache when he stands. He sits on the edge of the bed and massages his calves, hoping the heaviness will disappear, hoping tomorrow will feel different. But the truth settles over him like a weight. His body is changing, and he no longer feels in control. Not of his strength, not of his energy, and certainly not of his blood flow. And then, in those most private moments, reality becomes impossible to ignore. The blood that once surged through his body with force now struggles to move at all. Erections that once arrived effortlessly disappear without warning. The body that once felt unstoppable now feels fragile. It is a kind of grief that no one prepares men for. A silent loss that steals confidence, steals joy, and steals identity. But what most men never learn is that the heart is not the enemy. Your arteries are not broken beyond repair. The primary problem is pressure. High pressure forcing blood through vessels that have become too narrow and too stiff, until they crack under the strain. And hidden deep within nature lies a quiet rescue. Pumpkin seed oil. This oil is dark, rich, and loaded with essential nutrients like magnesium, zinc, and powerful antioxidants. They act like a soft, steady hand, relaxing your arteries so your heart doesn't have to fight so hard to pump blood. It has been scientifically shown to lower blood pressure gently, yet meaningfully. It softens those hardened arterial walls and supports nitric oxide, the chemical signal that tells your blood vessels to open wide and let life move freely again. Men who start using pumpkin seed oil describe the change not like a lightning bolt, but like a sunrise. One day, they realize their legs feel lighter. Another day, they notice they walked farther without stopping. The pressure in their chest eases. They sleep more peacefully. Their morning blood pressure reads lower and quietly, unexpectedly. That strength and warmth begin to return, not because they became younger, but because blood flow finally had the room to move again. When pressure falls, hope rises. When arteries relax, life expands. Now, let's talk about the next oils. We are moving beyond just protecting the arteries to actually improving the quality of the blood itself. Number 5. Sesame oil. There's a moment many men never forget. It happens when they stand in the shower and suddenly, a sharp, burning cramp seizes their calf like a vice grip, forcing them to grab the wall just to stay upright. The pain is so intense it steals their breath. They wait for it to pass, water running over their back, heart pounding, wondering if this is just another cramp or the warning sign of something far worse. When the muscle finally releases, they finish showering, but something inside them has changed. A quiet fear begins to grow, because deep down they know that cramps that strike like lightning are not normal. They are a sign of blood struggling to reach the muscles, a sign of circulation failing, a sign that the body is begging for help. Later that night, they lie in bed and press their fingers against their lower legs, feeling the tightness beneath the skin, feeling the pulse slow and weak beneath their fingertips. They think about how simple tasks now feel difficult. Walking across the grocery store without stopping, climbing stairs without leaning on the rail, sitting down without feeling chest pressure. And then, in the most private moments, the truth hits harder than the cramp ever did. Intimacy is gone. The silence cuts deeper than the pain because it feels like losing a piece of identity that no one ever prepared them to lose. But what most men never hear is that much of this suffering comes from oxidative stress. I call it the slow internal rust that damages your arteries, stiffens your vessel walls, and turns smooth, healthy blood flow into friction and struggle. And this is where sesame oil becomes a quiet miracle. It is loaded with natural compounds called lignans. These lignans shield your blood vessels from oxidative damage the way armor shields a soldier. It actively supports healthy nitric oxide levels so arteries can open wide and allow the blood to surge instead of crawl. It reduces platelet stickiness so your blood becomes smoother, less prone to clotting and much less dangerous. It softens stiff arteries not temporarily, but consistently, day after day. Men who start taking sesame oil describe something remarkable. The painful cramps that once woke them from sleep begin to fade away. Their legs feel lighter when they walk, their feet feel warmer, their breathing deepens. And slowly, unexpectedly, intimacy changes. The strength becomes fuller, stronger, and more reliable, not because they found a secret pill, but because circulation returns like water flowing freely after a dam breaks. Hope returns quietly, naturally, powerfully. 1 tablespoon over a salad or soup can be the simple act that turns fear back into confidence. When the blood moves freely again, a man feels alive again. Number 4. Almond oil. There's a story I hear from men across the country all the time, and it starts the same way. A man goes to tie his shoes in the morning, bending forward the way he has done thousands of times without thinking. But this time, something different happens. A sudden wave of dizziness hits him like a flash of lightning. The room tilts, his vision goes blurry for a second. He freezes, gripping his knees, heart racing, trying to steady himself before he falls. He laughs it off, tells himself he just stood up too fast. But deep inside, fear floods through him because he knows that feeling wasn't normal. It was a warning sign of blood that can't reach the brain fast enough, blood that moves like slow syrup instead of a strong current, blood that is thick and struggling through narrow, clogged arteries. And that moment becomes the beginning of a terrible new awareness. His body is no longer the safe, reliable place it used to be. From that day forward, small things begin to change. He feels lightheaded getting out of his car. He loses balance briefly stepping out of the shower. His hands and feet feel cold, even in the summer. His energy fades in the afternoon like someone dimmed a light inside him. And when he tries to be intimate, he finds himself searching for a strength that simply doesn't come. He waits, hoping, looking down. But nothing happens. A few seconds of silence feel like hours. The disappointment in his own chest feels heavier than the dizziness ever did. Because losing intimacy isn't about sex, it's about identity, it's about dignity. It's about waking up and feeling like yourself. What most men never realize is that thick, sticky blood is often the real reason intimacy fails. When the blood becomes too heavy, too slow, too full of inflammatory waste and stubborn fats, It simply cannot rush into the chambers with the force needed to create pressure and hold firmness. And that is where almond oil becomes so powerful, rich in vitamin E and soft, heart-friendly fats. It works like a lubricant inside your arteries, actively reducing the thickness of the blood. It gently lowers the dangerous LDL cholesterol that clogs the vessel walls, and calms the inflammation that triggers clot formation. It acts like cleansing rain after a long drought, thinning and smoothing the flow so it can move freely again. Men who begin using almond oil often describe changes they never expected. Their heads feel clearer, their vision sharper, the mental fog begins to lift, their energy rises, they breathe easier. Their skin feels warmer, their heartbeat feels steadier, and quietly, in a moment they will never forget, strength returns, stronger, fuller, more stable. Like the body suddenly remembered how to be alive again. Just 1 teaspoon, stirred into warm milk or drizzled over oats, has become a lifeline for countless men who believe they had completely run out of options. Because when the blood becomes smooth again, everything becomes possible again. Now, if almond oil can transform the quality of your blood, prepare yourself for the next oil. It does something even more extraordinary. It actually improves natural testosterone and sexual vitality while increasing nitric oxide so dramatically that some men feel the difference in just a few days. This oil has literally been called the spark of life. Number 3. Black seed oil. There is a moment that many men pray will never happen. It is the moment they look into the mirror and almost daunted recognize the man staring back. His shoulders are slumped, his eyes are tired, his skin looks pale, and the spark that once defined him is simply gone. He lifts his chin, trying to see the strength he once carried with pride, but instead he sees the weight of exhaustion, the strain of fighting a body that no longer listens to him. He runs his hand across his chest and feels the shallow breathing, the quick, fluttery heartbeat, the tightness beneath the ribs that never used to be there. He looks down at his hands and sees a slight tremble he pretends not to notice, and then his eyes shift lower, to the one place he wishes would still answer him, still rise with power, still prove that he is alive. But nothing happens, and the silence between what he remembers and what he now lives in is almost unbearable. He remembers the younger man inside him who felt unstoppable, who woke every morning ready to take on the world, whose pulse was strong and confident, whose body responded instantly with passion and fire. That man feels a world away now, separated by years of accumulated stress, inflammation, pressure, and the slow tightening of arteries that had become stiff and clogged like old copper pipes. And no one ever warned him that the first sign of failing circulation wouldn't be chest pain or a trip to the emergency room. It would be the quiet, devastating disappearance of intimacy. But what most men never hear is that their body is not giving up. It is fighting, it is inflamed, it is struggling, and it is burning inside the blood vessels, desperately trying to push thick, sticky blood that cannot move with force. That fire, that inflammation must be calmed before blood can flow like it once did. And this is where black seed oil becomes absolutely extraordinary. It is rich in a compound called thymoquinone. This works like a high-powered fire extinguisher inside your arteries, actively cooling the inflammation that causes vessels to narrow and blood to harden. It supports nitric oxide, allowing those arteries to relax and open so blood can surge with power. It has also been shown to gently support and raise natural testosterone levels, delivering back the strength and vitality men feel slipping away every day. It helps reduce plaque buildup and smooths the blood so it can reach every part of the body, including the smallest, most important arteries inside the penis. Men who consistently take black seed oil describe something truly remarkable. Their chest loosens, their breathing deepens, energy returns, their mood lifts. They wake with a morning strength they haven't seen in years and feel a warm rush of blood that reminds them they are still men, still alive, still capable. Just 1 teaspoon a day can feel like relighting a flame that never should have gone out. And if black seed oil can reignite vitality like this, the next oil does something equally powerful. But in a different way. It wakes up the arteries themselves, essentially forcing them to expand and pull in blood with intensity, restoring circulation so rapidly that some men feel the difference almost immediately. This next oil is unlike anything else on this list. Number 2. Pomegranate seed oil. There is a moment that can break a man in ways nothing else can. It happens when he is standing in front of the sink, brushing his teeth, and suddenly his nose begins to bleed without warning. Not a little drop, but a steady stream that forces him to grab a towel, lean forward, and wait helplessly for it to stop. His heart pounds, his hands shake, he feels lightheaded as the blood drips into the sink. And in that moment, staring down at the red water swirling into the drain, he understands something he has tried to avoid for years. His blood pressure is dangerously out of control. His arteries are under incredible strain. His body is failing silently. And for the first time, He feels the terrifying possibility that life could change forever in one unexpected second. After the bleeding stops, he sits down, holding the damp towel, feeling a wave of deep exhaustion wash over him. He remembers the man he used to be, the man whose blood moved like a river, whose heart beat like a drum, whose body responded instantly with passion and certainty. Now he feels like a spectator inside his own skin. His chest tightens after walking up a small hill. His breath shortens after climbing stairs. His legs swell at the end of the day. And when he reaches for intimacy, nothing happens, not even a flicker. The silence is louder than thunder. Most men incorrectly assume that weak erections mean a problem with testosterone. But I'm here to tell you that's almost never the truth. Intimacy fades because the arteries that feed them are too narrow, too stiff, and too damaged to deliver the surge of blood needed to create firmness. When the pressure inside your vessels rises to high, the body is fighting for survival, not to perform. And this is a crucial part. The first place your body will sacrifice blood flow is the penis. It is nature's cruel, ultimate design: survival over pleasure, safety over intimacy. And that is why men feel like they are losing themselves long before anyone else sees what is truly happening to their health. This is where pomegranate seed oil becomes absolutely extraordinary. It contains super powerful antioxidants that act like a cleansing flood, actively clearing away the hardened sludge that sticks to your artery walls. It dramatically boosts nitric oxide, relaxing and widening your blood vessels so blood can rush through with powerful force. It breaks down the harmful oxidative stress that prematurely ages your arteries, restoring elasticity, warmth, and power. It makes the heart's job easier. It sends blood exactly where a man needs it most, and for many men, it brings back something they believed was gone forever: the sudden rush of heat, pressure, and fullness that signals a real erection returning. Men who regularly take pomegranate seed oil describe feeling more alive, more awake, more grounded in their own body. Their faces regain color, their hands feel warmer, they walk with more confidence. They feel their hearts beating with quiet, confident strength instead of fear. The bedroom becomes a place of hope again. And if this oil can widen the arteries so dramatically, imagine what happens when you add the final oil, the single strongest oil on this list. This oil doesn't just open the pathways, it actively restores the entire system. An oil so powerful it can reduce plaque formation and thin the blood itself, allowing circulation to move like lightning. Number 1. Flax seed oil. There is a moment that hits harder than any diagnosis or warning. It's the moment a man finds himself suddenly in the emergency room, not because of an accident or a fall, but because his left arm suddenly felt heavy and weak and his speech trembled for a split second. The doctors rush around him. Machines beep urgently. And then, the doctor turns and says, "You were lucky. It could have been a clot." Those words hang in the air like a thunderbolt. A clot. Something so small it cannot be seen with the naked eye, yet powerful enough to steal everything in an instant. A clot that could have left him speechless, paralyzed, or gone forever. And in that moment, lying beneath bright hospital lights, he realizes something profoundly painful. He has been living on borrowed time. When he returns home, everything feels different. He walks more slowly. He stands more carefully. He looks at his wife and wonders if she sees the fear behind his eyes. At night, he lies awake, one hand pressed against his heart, the other resting on his leg, hoping the numbness he sometimes feels is not the beginning of something worse. And when he reaches for intimacy, hoping to feel normal again, his body fails him. The blood simply won't move. The erection that once came with certainty fades into nothing, replaced by a crushing silence. It is a grief made of fear, regret, and longing, not for sex, but for life. What most men don't know is that blood clots and blocked arteries are not just random events. They build silently, slowly, for years. Your blood thickens, plaque hardens, arteries stiffen, and then one day, everything stops. That is why flax seed oil is at the very top of this list. It is one of the most powerful natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth. This nutrient actively thins thick blood, reduces dangerous clot formation, and melts inflammation from the inside out. It makes the blood glide instead of fight. It helps dissolve the sticky platelets that clump and choke off circulation. It softens the hardened arteries so blood can surge into the heart, the brain, the legs, and yes, the penis. It supports nitric oxide, the key chemical that controls intimacy. In some research models, it has been shown to reduce plaque by up to an astonishing 40%, transforming the inner landscape of your arteries like opening a locked door to light. Men who begin taking flax seed oil speak about changes that feel like a rebirth: warmth returning to cold feet, pressure lifting from the chest, color returning to the face, confidence returning to the mind, and intimacy returning in quiet, powerful waves, fuller, stronger, longer-lasting erections that feel exactly like life coming back. 1 tablespoon a day, taken raw and consistent, has changed the lives of men who believe their best days were behind them. It is never too late to restore circulation. It is never too late to reclaim your strength. It is never too late to stand tall again. So, let's quickly review the 8 oils that can change your life. 8. Extra virgin olive oil 7. Avocado oil 6. Pumpkin seed oil 5. Sesame oil 4. Almond oil 3. Black seed oil 2. Pomegranate seed oil flax seed oil. Now, let's get to the final and most important message. It is not about the oils. It is about what they mean for your future, your health, and your power as a man. In the quiet moments of life, when the house is still, when the TV is off and the world finally pauses, a man is left alone with his thoughts. And in those moments, he begins to ask himself the questions he never says out loud. How much time do I really have left? Will my body keep failing me, piece by piece? Will I become a burden instead of a protector? Will I lose the ability to love and be intimate with the woman who has stood beside me for decades? These questions echo inside the mind like thunder rolling across an empty sky. Every man feels them eventually, but few ever admit it. Here is the truth. Aging is not the enemy. Weak circulation is, blocked arteries are, inflammation is. The slow suffocation of blood flow is what steals vitality, steals independence, steals passion, and steals the fire that makes a man feel truly alive. But I am here to tell you that it does not have to end that way. You are not destined to lose yourself. You are not destined to fade. Your body is not broken. It is simply waiting for support, waiting for healing, waiting for a spark. And the oils you discover today: extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, pumpkin seed oil, sesame oil, almond oil, black seed oil, pomegranate seed oil, and flax seed oil. They are not just ingredients in a kitchen. They are tools. They are weapons. They are the bridge back to the man you used to be. Every single tablespoon is a small act of rebellion against decline. Every drop is a message to your body saying, not yet, not today, not without a fight. Because when blood flow returns, life returns. When the arteries open, strength opens. When circulation rises, confidence rises. And when the heart moves freely, so does everything else: your energy, your stamina, your clarity, your joy, your closeness, and your intimacy. You are never too old to rebuild yourself from the inside out. You are never too old to feel alive again. You are never too old to feel the warmth rush back into your legs, or the power return to your hands, or the strength return to your erections. You are not done. You are simply becoming. If you are sitting here right now feeling something stirring inside your chest, hope, maybe fear, maybe determination, hold on to it tightly. This is not the end of your story. This is a chapter where everything changes. Start small. Choose just one oil tonight. Take 1 tablespoon. Honor yourself with 1 step. Because the distance between decline and rebirth is not measured in miles. It is measured in moments, and this moment is yours if this message reached you. If you felt something shift inside you, please share this video with another man who desperately needs it. Leave a comment below and tell me which oil you will begin with tonight. And subscribe so you never miss the guidance that could save your life. Thank you for spending this time with me. It has been an honor to walk with you today. Your heart is worth fighting for. Your strength is worth protecting, and your story is far from over.